far as I'm concerned, your plans should be secret until they are already on ground. In fact, possible as finished. I'm not talking of castle in the air. You have reached a particular stage when God gives you a vision and a dream. It's your own. That vision is still at the secret phase. It's not for distribution. You remember when Elijah was trying to go, and they were telling Elijah, where did I go? He said, keep your mouth shut. No great person in this life does not master the part of secrecy. That there are some things that must never be said until it is time to be said. There are many things God knows about my life. He doesn't tell me. Because when He tells me, I will say it out, and then I'll be subject to all kinds of limitations.
I'm also thinking about scarcity mindsets. And you made some references to how, though you have the abundance mindset, sometimes the scarcity mindset wants to overrule always wants to overrule the abundance mindset. So how can you position yourself to make sure that in all situations, economic situations, difficult times, that you always allow that abundant mindset to be in the leading position? How do you position yourself to make sure that the abundant mindset rules at every time?
The important thing about the mindset is to rule your mind by your life decisions. Not allow your mind to rule your life decisions. Let me give you an example. If you have this abundant mindset as a pastor of a church, and you say you want to buy your own land, that's it. No matter how many people get against you, that is it. Just follow your abundant mindset. Believe that impossibility does not exist. So just push it on. And I can tell you everything that has happened into my life has come from the fact that I believe that impossibility is the dictionary of fools. I mean, we were passing through somewhere and I saw a house and they were trying to say so many. I started thinking, I should have a house in Lagos because this I travel often. And then somebody now said, this house is so and so millions. I said, what is that? I don't have it, but the moment I want to buy that house, I will buy it. Because the man who is buying it doesn't have four heads. He's on this earth. The resources are available to him. It's also available to me. And much more available to me because I serve God. I tell you, when your brain, and so when your will believes, your brain triggers a pathway. It triggers a pathway. Immediately triggers a pathway for you to execute it. The moment you say you want to do this, and you keep on affirming it, you keep on realizing it, you keep on writing it, your brain is thinking of multiple pathways. And before you know, something will open. And before you know, you may just have a deal which you have 200 million. You should never stagger at miraculous things. Abraham never staggered at the promise of God. Before, as far as God is concerned, nothing is staggering. Just follow it. I mean, I was using my car one time, and you know what we earned. But at one particular point, I said I must get a brand new car. Because that car has been existing for a long time. Now, some people say when I talk about money, it means I have money. I know that I have money. I'm just telling you something that happened in history. And it can also happen now. And I said I'm going to buy a brand new car. Then I go to the US. The car I wanted to buy was $77,000. But somebody said, well, let me put miles in the car a bit because that will give a pot. And they were surprised that they got the money cashed out. And it's God that made it. And when we are talking about Nigerian currency, what is 35? We are talking about going to 70 plus another 30, about 100 million. But how can I get 100 million as a civil servant? If people say I have 100 million, look, how many millions have you given me so far? I know you gave me some potato.
Thank you so much, sir. So I think we can just draw the fact that like you said, your mind has to accept it.
Yes.
For your brain to activate it.
Yes.
So you have to first have faith that it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
for your brain to now work out to
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. We are so grateful. I know we have some more questions there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So let's give an instance of, someone has already gotten on board with this abundant mindset.
Okay.
And things are working fine, person affirms it, everything is working fine. And just like how one could be perceived as someone who builds castles in the air, especially when it comes to the fact that maybe your family members do not believe in maybe what you believe, or they are not at that stage yet, but they are so close to you that maybe you see them every day, they come with issues and are like, no, it's going to be possible, I'm going to do it, don't worry. And you get perceived as maybe a liar or promise and fail, but you know that God will do it in his own time. How do we get those kind of people on board to see things the way?
As far as I'm concerned, your plans should be secret until they are already on ground. In fact, possible as finished. Family members can actually bring you down. Familiar spirit is the most difficult spirit to cast out. And a man's enemies are members of his own household. So why should you go and announce to the top to somebody, you tell a person that you want to buy a helicopter, the person who doesn't have bicycle, he will laugh at you. So don't do that. Have your plans made up. You see, I'm not talking of castle in the air. You have reached a particular stage when God gives you a vision and a dream. It's your own. It's your own. That vision is still at the secret phase. It's not for distribution. You know, you remember when Elijah was trying to go, and they were telling Elijah, where that God, he said, keep your mouth shut. Remember when God wanted to do something and bring Elizabeth's husband, he made the man dumb. No great person in this life does not master the part of secrecy. That there are some things that must never be said until it is time to be said. I preach it every time. You know, there are many things I know now. I know about this church. There are many things God knows about my life. He doesn't tell me. Because when he tells me, I will say it out, and then I'll be subject to all kinds of limitations. And in fact, although there are contrary psychological views, but one of the most important psychological views is that when you open your mouth and start talking of what you have not done, the steam in you to achieve begins to go less. But if you keep it, know that you are secretly, you are working on it. Every day you are working on it. Every day you are working on it. Every day you are working on it. Till it reaches a particular threshold, then you now tell it. And the Bible says, do not cast what is precious to swines. If I tell you, if there's any mistake I make in ministry, it's opening my mouth to the wrong person. And that is why whenever somebody comes to me, the first thing I ask myself is, I should be silent and ask myself, is this the person I should be saying this to? You are not family. You've left your family. Your family is gone, you know. Don't go back to your village to start to discuss with your uncle or your brother or your sister. You can't carry them. You know, they should be following you. You know what I mean? They'll be following you. So that's it. If you tell them that you want to buy a new house, they say, look at how selfish our sister is. Look at our father is in the hut. This man want to buy a house of 200 million. You know? And then you now have depression. And if you are depressed, you can't do anything. But you have your plans. And even though you want to buy that house of 200 million, you are planning that when you finish that 200 million, you build your house for your father. You are wanting to build productive capacity before you concentrate on your production. So, your deep consultation with God is between you and God. And then, if you have a discretional pastor or leader who is not so loquacious, and so commonplace, then you can talk with him.
Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it, sir. Okay, quickly to a close and a few more questions. But I just want to ask, when it comes to this abundance mindset, do you see there being levels in the way your mind could actually accept things? For example, now, right now, if we were to tell people to start to pray, maybe those that don't have a car, it will take another level of some people to actually pray to God for a brand new car. Some will be praying to God for a tokumbo. Now, on that brand new car, some people can be here now. They can be trusting God for an helicopter, and it probably will happen. Some people can be trusting God to buy a house in maybe just one bungalow somewhere. And some people can trust God that I can actually buy a house in Banana Island. What actually opens up the mind of people to different levels of abundance?
When you get to that stage, you will know. Everybody can open his mouth and talk everything. Everybody can pray everything. But when you get to that point, first of all, you will have an inspirational dissatisfaction with the status quo. Something tells you have left that level. You know what I mean? It's just like flying on flight. You go on economy, and something actually tells you you are now for premium class. And then something tells you you are now for first class. Not because you just want to be in first class. Maybe like one of my colleagues who was in economy and later he developed different controls and he died. That pulmonary embolism. Maybe at that point you know that you are beyond that. Like, I mean, even those days when I come to Lagos, I'll stay in mainland hotel, you know, in this thing. I'll stay in another place. But you have come to a point where you are now a thinker, you know, you are now studying, you are now talking to masses, so you need creativity, you need a good hotel, you need brain. You don't have to drive your car when you are thinking. So you have come to that stage. And when you come to that stage, not every mortal is in that stage. So because they will still be looking at you as they know you, especially their family members. You can be talking about this. Look at Joseph. Joseph knew that he's going to be a leader. But the family members could not agree that everything should be hierarchical. You are the last or you are something. Who are you? So what I'm saying, when you come to this stage, you will know. And you have this inspirational dissatisfaction with the status quo. In fact, your husband may not agree with you. Your wife may not agree with you. But something in you will say you know it. I remember years ago, I was head of department. In most of our rooms, there were no rugs. There were no tiles. So I remember one of our church members, he came to my office. Then all over the campus, no room, no tile. I said, he said, sir, please put a rug in this your room, your this thing. Make it beautiful. I said, no, I'm a lecturer. I said, you are not an ordinary lecturer. Look, that week, I put rug and everything. And put tiles. Now everybody has tiles and rugs. You know what I mean? There's some mentality people think. And that mentality is not forward moving, it's backward moving. That's the way they think. It's not right. And how can you say you have lived 40 years in this life and you still be thinking low? And still be thinking underlining. So let me start with slippers before I go to shoe. I mean, that doesn't work. Sometime come, you know you have reached that stage. You are no more mediocre. And you get to that stage. And you get there. I mean, when you were preparing food today, you know that you have to grow now. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that's very clear. Let's put our pastor. We have an inspirational dissatisfaction with the status quo. Thank you so much, sir. Do you have any questions? One last question.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, using Lagos Church as an example right now, what kind of an advice and a boost for enthusiasm can you give us that will keep tapping from even after your
The most important thing is to take time to develop your team. Don't just go and do several things, because when a revival comes and there's no team to pilot it, it destroys. If those 3 teams or 4 teams are there, get your team ready. Then the team is to be goal-driven. And driven, the goals can be brought into power, but it must be inspired by God. Then, for every day or every time, you keep on moving higher, and then never to lose your heart. Establishing a church can be very challenging because you are dealing with human beings. I remember in those days, I would sit down here, in those I would be looking back, and the place will be empty. But you must never be discouraged. Always visualize the end point. and don't allow the present weary you.
My last question, and I believe that it will also go to resonate in the mind of a lot of people. Romans 12:2 keeps saying that do not be conformed, to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. It seems like conforming sometimes happens in one's subconsciousness. You're not even conscious that you are already conforming to your environment, to situations. What can you do to make sure that your mind is consistently transformed, irrespective of where you find yourself? Irrespective of even if the situation is not looking like it, how do you keep your mind at the level of consistent transformation?
You must have what I call the magnificent pause. For everything in this life, you must have the magnificent pause. Look, pray, please, Demola, there's a house in Lekki. It can make your business big. Have the magnificent pause. So between your action and reaction, pause to navigate your way. When you do that, you will never conform. One day there was this position, I don't want to mention it, that people wanted me to be. Even my senior colleague, very senior colleague, he said, we are going to force it on you. So just give me time to pause. And when I paused, I was asking many questions. Why should you take it? What is the consequence of taking it? Is it what you should take? And then when I looked at everything, I found out the only reason why I should take it is because of the money. It doesn't fall into my values. I said no. Because that's that magnificent pause. You see, let me say this. Delay is never denial. So for everything you do in this world, there must be a mapping strategy. Even if you want to talk to your husband or your wife, you must have a strategy. If you want to talk to your pastor, you must have a strategy. You see why there's so many collapses in this world? People don't map out a strategy. They come to speak, they don't mark a strategy. They usher, they don't mark a strategy. They go on evangelism, they don't have a strategy. Write the vision. Make it plain on table. So that whosoever understands it will run. That is it. So there's always a strategy. That's why great people take time to look at all the dimensions. It doesn't make them static before they go. So that is what's important. With that, you cannot conform. You cannot conform. When somebody is talking, oh, brethren, let us pray. One day I was in a car, and somebody was preaching. He said, look, when you know Jesus Christ, you will get money, you'll be rich, and so on and so forth. He was surprised. Why I wasn't talking? I said, well, if it's to know Jesus Christ to get money, I think that's a very wrong thing, because I will get more money by not knowing Jesus. Because it's illogical. It doesn't work. Most of all the cliches people use, most of all the statements people make have not been founded on reasoning, neither founded on faith. Because they don't question assumptions. They don't question presumptions. Travel abroad, your door will be open. I know of a doctor who is doing, gate man in one of the countries. Fully fledged doctor. He can't come because his mates have gone. You know what I mean? He has not passed any exam. He's not a gate man. So what does he say? Go abroad. Just abroad. Everything will happen. Marry, everything is okay. It's not like that. There are no so sweeping generalizations. If you want to undergo a project, if you want to undergo anything, realize it, seriously, then plan before you go to execution. Even to propose to a lady, you must have a mapping strategy. Don't just say because he knows me, I'm a man of God and so on and so forth, the Lord told me this. No, not so. And let your think, that's why I tell many young boys and young girls, don't be quick to exhibit everything about you on social media. You know what I mean? Because you never know where it goes. You never know where it goes. To every great thing, as I always say, there's a secret phase, there's a public phase. And the man you are advising today, you could meet someone and be advising him, please be safe, be safe, That man may be even 10 times richer than you. And you're advising him because the man is this. He'll be laughing at you. Or you tell a man, you say, please make sure you build house. I don't give advice anyhow. When people, I don't open my mouth to talk. A man is a surgeon. You have never used scalpel. You're advising him on how he will succeed as a surgeon. So the best skill to develop to advance is a listening skill. So, and you must listen twice as much as you speak. Don't open your mouth. As I always say, your brain is on jam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So that is my I'm always going to listen. I must realize everything. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So we just have a parting word, sir.
All right, my parting word today is to thank everyone that we have had a very wonderful conference. There's no doubt. Let's clap for ourselves for now. There's no doubt that this conference is way above last year. And that's how life is supposed to be. But I want you to leave you with these three or four things. No one in this life can be responsible for your greatness. No problem you face in this world can take your joy. Always see yourself as being on top of every challenge. Don't have an entitlement mentality. Don't have a blame mentality. Have a responsible mentality. Because if you don't do that, you will always be nagging. You will always be complaining. Whenever you have a problem, ask myself, what can I do about it? What is the area of my focus? What is the area of my influence? And if you do your part, you will succeed. Don't go tracing your father, your mother, your wife, or your husband as being responsible for your situation. Then the second thing I want to say is, when you have put your hands on the plow, don't look back. I've always found that at the level to which a man wants to be discouraged and lose heart, that is about the time that he begins to have a turnaround. It seems to me that the enemy's attempt intensifies when God's intervention is just at the corner. So no matter how discouraging you feel, let it be a feeling, but still push on. No matter how unhappy you are, but still push on. No matter how many times you fail, but still push on. Then the third thing I want to say is this. You are going to meet a world in which it is not predictable. Don't put your confidence in any human being. You will regret. Why? Not because they are not good, but because they are human. You may actually see surprises that is happening under your roof you don't know about. So the best way to work with people is to work with a true heart, but know that they are human. The problem with church, people, when they want to leave, it's not that time they wanted to leave. In fact, they may have wanted to leave a year before then. And during that period, they would have done many things. Lead the choir, you know what I mean? Do many great things, but they are waiting for the right time to go. So let your heart be fixated on God. Let your heart be fixated on Christ. And if God brings you partners, set not your heart on it. Just the same thing with money. Don't put your confidence in money. Set your heart on God and develop an unbreakable spirit. Don't be suspicious, but don't actually begin to have a nervous breakdown because you are busy monitoring the person that you think is going to take you to your promised land. It does not exist. I can tell you for now, I've had friends, I have members of the church who have been with me for 30 years and they have been very faithful. But as good and as kind as these people are, I don't make them my confidence. I don't make them my confidence. God is all. Sometimes God actually takes away your stability so that you can look up to Him for situations. And that is it. And then finally, be the example you want to see happen. Anytime you are faced with any situation, write everything you want to be done. You know what I mean? And start working on it. Rather than receive inspiration and go and advise. Receive inspiration and go and cancel. Just be the change that is possible. What you do is enough to make a difference. And for all it takes, your peace, don't let anybody take from you. Your joy, don't let anybody take from you. No matter the storms, don't panic. No matter the storms, don't fret. No matter the storms, don't fume. No matter the storms, let the peace of God, that passeth human understanding, rule your heart and your mind. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your comments, and I take them seriously. Whatsoever you need clarification, let us know. And other episodes of this interview will be able to do it. You can also join us in all our other social media and send your questions. I will be ready to pray with you and support you. Don't forget, God will never make a case against you. Don't ever try to make a case against yourself. God will reach out to you.